última pizca de mi poder.
Agua, fuego, tierra.
Estoy reuniendo un aquelarre. Tenemos que volver a la cima.
WandaVision was such a stepping stone for Marvel. How do you approach a challenge like Agatha after the success and the impact of that first show?
Yeah, I mean, really thoughtfully and with a lot of work is how I approached it. Yeah, I mean, I think I did some work to sort of diagnose what was successful about WandaVision and what resonated with fans.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that is all the pastiche and all the sort of theatricality of it and all these sort of recognizable worlds. But then, the WandaVision room was so extraordinary, and they together we applied such rigor to the sort of narrative structure of it. Mm-hmm. So that was really the task at this time, is like, so if we want that same kind of theatricality and fun and illusions, we have to figure out like what's the new system. And that, it's challenging. It's also hard to talk about without spoiling all of it.
Yeah, I know. And you also delve into different TV genres in this one, but you do it in a different way. So how did you do that? How was
I mean, we sort of, with Agatha, we were allowed to sort of be more expansive because, with WandaVision, it was very much about, Wanda's mind locked on to sitcom. And so that was our playground. And for Agatha, we're exploring witches and witchcraft. And so the field became anything a witch has ever touched in pop culture. And so that's what we draw from in the show.
Tell me about the title changes.
Yeah.
I have to say the final reveal was like brilliant and so funny. What were your reactions to the reactions from people online?
I mean, I have to say I was sort of like wringing my hands a bit about it because they were fake. It was a ploy. And so when people took them seriously and thought, we didn't know what we were doing, we were changing our minds, I sort of wanted to scream, no, it's games. And so and to see people, understand what we were doing, sort of get the thing, is really gratifying. And also just like, there are these moments where I feel very connected to the fans of the show, and that's one of them. Is I'm like, oh my gosh, like our people are out there understanding, this like silliness that we're doing, but we're doing it, really carefully with a lot of thought and a lot of love.
Yeah, it was so fun. There hasn't been a lot of horror in the MCU. Doctor Strange too delved into that, but not much else. Yeah. What was it like developing that spooky aspect?
I mean, the horror aspect was fun and new for me. WandaVision, the horror element in that is much more in the vein of Twilight Zone, which I love Twilight Zone, and I really like that tone. And I like those kinds of scares that are a little bit more cerebral. But this show really is horror, and it's all the sort of levels of horror. It's sort of like comedy horror and then like legitimate, creature scares. And that was very new for me. And, we're a mostly practical show. And so working with, the prosthetics team and like trying to sort of analyze what makes something scary. And it sort of always goes back to like Jaws, and Spielberg was making Jaws and the shark was broken, so you never see it, and that's actually what's scariest. That that was a big lessons for me, a learning curve of like how to make things scary and fun at the same time.
Well, everybody wants to know how will a new show or film from the MCU impact the rest of the saga. So how would you say, without revealing too much, will Agatha impact other shows, in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think, everything in Marvel is interconnected. I think some properties have a larger burden than others. I would say, we sort of occupy this like corner over here in the WandaVision space. So I think it's the kind of show that there's you don't have to do a lot of homework to come to it. But yeah, there's threads. The threads are all there, and there will be consequences to things.
Okay, have to wrap it up. Thank you so much for your time. It was a real pleasure talking to you.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
¿Por qué dejas que crean esas cosas sobre ti? Porque la verdad es peor. ¡Quiero mi premio! Hora de acabar la senda. La última en llegar es buena persona.